actually running a bit late for my midnight smoke. I'm wearing a silly hat because I don't know how much it annoys people. But I was just fooling around again in the shed. An electric motor to make sailing a bit easier. And I have the Batreski. It is in fact an esky containing a 50-amp circuit breaker, waterproof. And a 75-amp hour absorb glass mat battery. Let's see how it works. Nothing. Quiet. I've also got a couple of 100 watts of flexible monocrystalline panels there, and charge controller and a nail box. Suppose it should do the job. Anyway, pretty boring. Good old large mug of Luigi Lavanza. That's actually have a tin of MacBaren plum cake, but it's not really. It's a miserable 10-gram pouch of MacBaren's Vanilla Loose Cut. Now, my grandfather used to smoke plum cake, and I always remember the aroma. I mean, that's the cliches that everyone remembers. Their grandfather when they smell pipe tobacco. But this MacBaren Loose Vanilla, yeah, it's quite attractive. There's not much there. I'm not even sure. I think it's Virginia and brown or black Cavendish. But that smell, yeah, that reminds me of the smell of my grandfather's room and his pipe rack. So I thought I'd try some. I mean, yeah, it doesn't really smell like vanilla. There's a touch of vanilla there. It's a bit like almost a vanilla milkshake. There's almost a mild berry aroma there as well, which is odd. I mean, it's very attractive tobacco, but it does smell really good. But it smells more like something you'd eat than something you'd smoke, or a bag of lollies. But yeah, that's very attractive. But I've smoked a few MacBaren blends, and I always found them on the sweet flavoured side. This is a little bit moister than the Cornell and Deal blends I've been smoking lately. I'd say it's fairly dry. It's probably perfect moisture content. I'm going to pack a fairly generous bowl. It's pretty good. 3 pinches. Top it off. It's a nice looking piece of dark tobacco there. Yeah, almost a vanilla sponge cake or vanilla icing or something. A sweet vanilla, I wouldn't say custody, I suppose it is called loose cut cream. There is a creaminess to it. It packs quite well. I'm actually smoking a Nicolas of Lyon Bruyere. It's actually quite a nice pipe. It's one of the few straight pipes that I had that's not a corn cob. Yeah, I just find it a really nice fit in the hand. And the grain in it's pretty attractive. There's a bit of variation in the pattern. But I mean, it's not about that. When I bought it on eBay for maybe $6, I think. But it's made in a little pipe shop in Lyon, so I'm trying to stay with a bit of a French theme, given that this is MacBaren faux plum cake. I mean, I haven't smoked pipes long enough, and I wasn't smoking pipes when I was a child to know that the plum cake he was smoking was actually a different blend, or whether this one's identical. I know the tin's different, but he used to get the 100-gram tins like that. They were probably, I don't know what, 3.5 ounces or something. But yes, this tobacco here, in my long-term memory, is more reminiscent of the tobacco he used to smoke. But I haven't smoked it yet, so we'll see how it actually burns. It's very mild. I haven't got tamper. Smells very much like the smell of it in the pouch. Just obviously with a touch of smoke. Tamper dilemma. You're gonna have to improvise, surely. What do we have here? Some part of an old Holden. Not pretty, but functional. Yeah, I'll have to do better than that, won't I? There we go. Cuphead bolt. This is less in the room. It's more aromatic than plum cake, but to the flavour, it's less. It's distinctly more tobacco-y. I found plum cake to have a very sweet, I guess sort of molassesy, almost rummy, sherry-like tone to it as well. And this doesn't have it. It has a very almost verging on perfumey and baked cookies. Yeah, it smells very nice. one thing I learnt smoking MacBaren plum cake and their vintage Latakia, the Syrian Latakia from 1974, is not to push it, because I found them very, very aggressive towards the tongue, let's say. I think you just have to really slow down and smoke them slowly, gently. To be honest, all the MacBarens I smoke, their aroma in the air is more appealing than any element of their flavour. I do want to like them, but they're just... And I do like them, I just... Yeah. Well, if Australia was a situation where tobacco was somewhat more affordable, I would probably smoke more of it, but given the cost of tobacco in this country, you have to be very judicious with what you do and don't choose to smoke, I guess. And if you end up with something that you don't like, well, you know, that's a loss to wear. Not that that's terribly important, you know, I only smoke here and there. I'm just putting, you know, trying to have the last Yahoo at the dwindling supplies and selection of pipe tobaccos available in Australia. I mean, it'll probably be all over soon. Well, it'll either be that or utterly unsustainable cost-wise. Yeah, interesting. But back to the tobacco. Yeah, I mean, if I was paying United States prices, even European prices for this, yeah, I would smoke it. But there is a really appealing element to MacBaren tobaccos and the flavour too. I mean, I'm not putting them down. I mean, that is just... I mean, it's not sickly sweet, it's not vanilla-y, it's just an indefinable, alluring, quite fragrant. And that's one of the interesting things I find with tobaccos is the transitory nature of the... I mean, maybe it's to do with the tobaccos that are burning at any given moment, but it's so hard to put a finger on what that is you're smelling or what that is you're tasting, because you're always trying to reference it back to things which are firmly implanted in your sensory memory. You know, tastes that we're familiar with, have been for a long time. It's like that making beer and, you know, beverages and flavour references. It's a very odd sensory thing anyway. I don't know how to put it, but yeah, working with varieties of hops and malts and in the brewing that I've been doing, I've really attempted to nail down, well, not nail down, but just be more conversant and more fluid with not just expressing flavour, but understanding it and perceiving it yourself. So if you do want to make minor adjustments, there is some point of reference. That's life, isn't it? Ridiculous endeavour. But this is not a ridiculous endeavour. yeah. No, that's... I'll take back what I've said. That's... Yeah, I would smoke this. Even at a higher price. You know, in terms of... it's... I mean, it is an aromatic, but it's not vanilla. It's just that... It's all those casings, it's all those flavourings. I mean, I've used spirits and beverages I've made, and, you know, to do my own casing of tobaccos, and nothing ever tastes like what it is. It's combustion. It just drastically alters everything. But that's all part of the mystique. I mean, what a bizarre element of human behaviour. But it is a drug. It's a nootropic. No, I think nicotine has a place. Obviously, it's like anything. Used to excess. I mean, having smoked pipes, it's understandable why people do smoke tobacco, or did smoke tobacco, or came to smoke tobacco. If all you've ever smoked is a cigarette, I don't care what brand or quality of rolling tobacco you're using, it's not even apples to apples. It's a totally different league. Back to this tobacco. I find it has it's a very uniform flavour. There's no standout element. Everything just melds into a single note, which might make it sound boring, but when combined with the aroma of it in the air, which is entirely different, yes, it's actually very good. But I'll take this hat off.